It's time to blow up the Edmonton Oilers through accepting all trades. I don't care what the trade is. We're accepting everything, and we're doing this for the next 3 seasons. So here's what the team's looking like before we accept anything. And I think the only players that are going to be untradeable are going to be McDavid and Draisaitl, because I don't see any team offering players that are even close to this caliber. So we'll go ahead and simulate halfway through the season, and then see what the team's looking like and how they're doing. So our first trade involves us sending 2 prospects to Nashville for a 3rd and a 5th, and then Petroff and a 3rd off to Minnesota for a 3rd and a 4th. Alright, I know we're only a few seconds into the video, but how do I stop the AI from changing the trade block? This is getting really annoying. But you know what else is annoying? The fact that the Winnipeg Jets have more subscribers than me. So help me by subscribing right now and clicking the bell to turn notifications on. Alright, the shameless plug's over. Let's get back to the video. CC's off to the Golden Knights for Korzak and Primo, and then we're flipping Korzak along with a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 5th to Minnesota for Brodin and Myrtle. Sam Rukov and a 7th is going to Dallas for a 3rd and a 5th, and then Honka, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 6th is off to the Stars for Suter, a 5th, and Hakanpää. Not gonna lie, I'm very upset by this trade. Why would we trade somebody named Honka? That player is absolutely elite, and I guarantee you we would have been able to win a Stanley Cup with them. But now that he's gone, we're not going to get past the first round. And our final move before reaching the halfway point is going to be a 4th and a 5th to the Devils for Andre Palat. So currently, the team's not looking that great with a 23-18-1 record. We're 5th in the Pacific and 13th in the entire league. I was expecting us to be a bit better. Draisaitl's leading the way with 16 goals and 28 helpers for 44 points, while Connor McDavid's picked up 13 goals and 25 assists for 38 points. And rounding out the top 3 is going to be Andre Palat, who's picking up 36 points. Darnell Nurse isn't doing too much, picking up 18 points, leading the defense, but Jack Campbell's got 21 wins with a 914 save percentage and 283 goals against. Keep up the great work, my guy. On our way to the trade deadline, we're making 2 moves. Puljujärvi and a 4th off to Chicago for Taves and a 3rd. We got absolutely finessed in this trade. The fact that Jonathan Taves and a 3rd has similar value to Puljujärvi and a 4th is absolutely unreal. Like, Taves is at the end of his career. Puljujärvi still has the potential. So I think that's a bit ridiculous. And then Barry, Broberg, and a 3rd off to Minnesota for Dumba and Hartman. So now that all the trades are done for year 1, and we basically have Minnesota's entire defense, we'll simulate to the end of the year and see how the team finishes. I do have some concerns though, because so far Minnesota's given up 20 goals in 3 games. Yeah, Jack Campbell, you better be ready to make some big saves. When the season came to an end, we're finishing with a 44-34-4 record, 4th in the Atlantic and 13th in the entire league. Draisaitl's leading the way, 33 goals and 56 helpers for 89 points, while Matt Dumba's going to lead the defense with 7 goals and 26 helpers for 33 points. Jack Campbell, he's picking up 40 wins, a 905 save percentage, a 312 goals against, not too bad of numbers. Austin Matthews, he's going to lead the entire league in points though, 65 goals, 43 assists, 108 points, not too bad. While Nathan McKinnon, he's got 106 points, and Mitch Marner, he's got 106 as well. Erik Karlsson's leading all defensemen with 81 points, while Vasilevsky, he's picking up 47 wins, a 906 save percentage, a 303 goals against. In the first round, we got our hands full as we got a tough matchup in the Colorado Avalanche, and Colorado's going to deal with us pretty handily, taking us down in 6 games, while the Boston Bruins going to win the cup in 5 games. Connor McDavid did everything he could, 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points, this isn't your fault. While Pasta, he's leading all scorers in the postseason, 14 goals, 21 helpers, 35 points, great work my guy. And Swayman, 15 wins, a 901 save percentage, a 334 goals against, congrats on winning the Stanley Cup. Taking a look at the draft lottery results, Montreal's getting the 1st overall pick, but we got some moves to make. Borgola and Ryan McLeod's off to the San Jose Sharks for Barbanov and a 3rd, and then a prospect along with the 6 is off to Seattle for Tanev and 2/3. I think it's about time we make some moves to improve the forwards. Our defense is looking great, and with Jack Campbell in net, I think we can make a deep run. Also, I'm getting really sick and tired of this. Why is our trade surplus have nobody on it? Are we seriously unwilling to give up any players? This is what I want the trade block to look like. I want to make some big moves, so let's go ahead and make some big moves. Nugent Hopkins is off to the LA Kings for Deneau and a 3rd, and then Janmark and Sundqvist are off to the Flame for Stromgren and a Wolf. A Wolf's going to be flipped alongside a 3rd and a 5th, and that's going to Philly for a 3rd and a 4th, and the Platt and 2/3 is off to the Stars for Lindell and a 3rd. The team's looking pretty similar to last season, but we're sitting 1st in the Pacific with a 22-14-5 record, and we're also 8th in the entire league. McDavid's doing his thing so far, 24 goals, 34 helpers, 58 points, while Draisaitl, he's got 47 points consisting of 24 goals and 23 helpers. And Evander Kane, he's going to round out the top 3 with 35 points. Nurse is leading the defense, of course, 7 goals and 15 assists for 22 points, while Jack Campbell's picked up 17 wins with a 911 save percentage and a 303 goals against. So on our way to the trade deadline, we're going to be making tons of moves. Alright, now that you've seen all the moves, we'll simulate to the end of the season. Yeah, we literally got no trade offers. I even updated the trade block to make sure we got at least one. But nope, we're not making any moves and we're off to the end of the season. It might have been a good thing we didn't make any moves because we're finishing with a 50-23-9 record, 1st in the Pacific and 4th in the entire league. The team's looking great. McDavid was fantastic, 43 goals, 79 assists, 122 points, great work my guy. While Dumba, he's leading the defense with 11 goals and 31 helpers for 42 points. Jack Campbell, of course, he's doing his thing in net, 36 wins, a 911 save percentage, and a 302 goals against. And also shout out to Stuart Skinner, he's picking up 12 wins and 17 appearances. He was dominating this season. Taking a look at the entire league, Connor McDavid's leading the way with 122 points, while Patrick Kane, Nathan McKinnon, and Johnny Gaudreau are all tied with 116. Charlie McAvoy's leading all defensemen with 19 goals and 71 helpers for 90 points, while Georgiev's picking up 46 wins with a 903 save percentage and a 289 goals against. So in the first round, we're going to be taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. We're one of the best teams in the league, and we're definitely going on a deep run. And just like that, we're down in 6 games. Great work, team. And the Anaheim Ducks, they're winning the Stanley Cup over the Toronto Maple Leafs in 7 games. Also, yeah, that's another thing I want to mention. Why are the Ducks honestly so good after one season? Like, are you telling me the Anaheim Ducks team right now is going to be competing for a Stanley Cup next season? I highly doubt it. I'll be a bit surprised if they make the playoffs, to be honest. Evander Kane did what he could with us. 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. That's not that great, but I mean, no one on the team played great. And Austin Matthews, 23 goals, 15 assists, 38 points. He's leading all postseason scorers. Too bad he couldn't win the cup. But John Gibson is 16 wins, a 918 save percentage, a 279 goals against. Great work, my guy. For the 3rd straight season, Montreal's going to be getting the 1st overall pick. Don't understand how this team's that bad, but hey, I guess they're getting lucky. So since we don't have a great pick, we got to make some trades. 2/3 and a prospect going to Dallas for a 3rd and a 5th. This is a perfect example of how the trade logic is absolutely broken. We are trading away 2/3 along with a prospect. The prospect might not be any good, but that doesn't really matter. And we're getting a 3rd and a 5th in return. We just traded a 3rd round pick for a 5th round pick. How does that work? Yeah, I don't know. I've just kind of given up with the logic in this game. A 4th and Rant is off to the Ducks for a 3rd and a 7th, and then a 3rd and Quick are off to the Canes for Himusami and a 3rd. Stromgren, a 4th and a 5th, going to Minnesota for 2/3, while a 2nd and a 3rd's off to Minnesota for Petan and a 7th. A 3rd and a 7th's going to the Stars for a 3rd and Boyd, and then Himusami's getting flipped to the Stars along with a 4th for a 3rd and a 4th. This is the team we're working with heading into our final season. Our defense is looking great. I'm pretty sure Jack Campbell's proved he can be the guy. So hopefully we don't lose all of our players on the way to the trade deadline. On our way to the trade deadline, I don't really know what we're doing here. A 3rd's off to the Sharks for a 5th and Vlasic. 2/3 and a prospect's being traded for a 3rd and a 4th. So once again, the trade logic's looking amazing. 2/3 is off to the Sens for a 3rd, a 4th, and CAMPBELL. 3rd and a 7th's going to Vegas so we can bring back Cody Ceci. We just want to bring in all the great contracts. And speaking of great contracts, a 3rd and a prospect's going to Columbus for a 5th and Gerbranson. Yeah, we got finessed in these past 5 trades. And since we got finessed, the team's not looking that great. 19, 21, and 2, 5th in the Pacific, 23rd in the entire league. What's going on here? Drysdale's doing what he can. 23 goals, 37 assists, 60 points. McDavid, 48 points. That's not too bad. Evander Kane, he's going to round the top 3 with 34 points. Nurse, of course, is leading the defense, but he's only got 16 points. While Jack Campbell, 15 wins aren't bad, but that 882 save percentage and that 384 goals against isn't looking great whatsoever. So on our way to the trade deadline, we got to shake things up. Deneau, DeBrusk, and Smith are off to the Rangers for an elite prospect, a 2nd, and then another prospect. So that's not helping the team whatsoever. Yamamoto and Tanev are off to the Jets for a 2nd and a 3rd, while Schaefer, a 3rd and a 5th, off to the Jets for a 2nd and a 3rd as well. So far, we haven't acquired one single player that's going to be able to play for us yet. That elite prospect, he's about 2 years away. Finally, we're getting a trade for an actual player as 2/3 are off to the Hawks for a 3rd and McCabe, a 2nd and a prospect's off to the Preds for Zucker and a 5th, and then 2/3 is off to the Sens for Kubalik, a 3rd, and Backlund. Now that we got all these trades done, hopefully the team can turn it around and at least make the playoffs. With the season came to an end, we're looking alright with a 45, 31, and 6 record, 3rd in the Pacific, 11th in the entire league, and we're making the playoffs. You'll love to see it. Leon Draisaitl is going to be leading the way with 110 points, consisting of 46 goals and 64 assists, while Nurse is leading our defense with 43 points. Jack Campbell, he turned it around in the second half, 35 wins, an 890 save percentage, a 351 goals against. The numbers still aren't good, but they were better than what they were. Leading all players is going to be Nikita Kucherov, 52 goals and 77 helpers for 128 points, and right behind him is going to be Steven Stamkos with 128. And Brad Marchand, he's going to round the top 3, 43 goals and 73 assists for 116 points. Victor Hedman is leading all defensemen with 89 points, while Vasilevsky dominates again, 47 wins, a 904 save percentage, and a 306 goals against. In the playoffs, it's time for us to get our revenge. We're taking on Vegas, and I want to run it back against these guys. Okay, when I said run it back, I meant win this time, not lose in the exact same fashion as you did last season. And Vegas even went on to win the cup. So if you beat them, you probably could have had a Stanley Cup. You hate to see it, you really do. Nurse led the way with 6 points. That's how you know we're struggling. Sillinger's doing his thing though, 10 goals, 18 assists, 28 points, and he's leading all postseason scores. While Varlamov, 16 wins, a 921 save percentage, a 264 goals against. Congrats on the Stanley Cup, my guy. Like honestly, the logic in this game kind of ruined this video. The fact that Nurse was never traded absolutely blows my mind considering I put him on the trade block multiple times. And then when teams were offering a 3rd and a 4th for 2/3, like why did they think that would go through?